Hello everybody, PJ here. Today I am here with the pre-release version of the finals. Now I was graciously basically invited to test this game out. It's not released yet, so it's still work in progress, and see what I thought of it along with a load of other people. Well, it's very interesting. It's an FPS, combat royale, battle royale, arena style thing with objectives. We've already got the store up and running with some pretty nifty cosmetics. As you can see, they're quite a decent range for saying, bear in mind this game is not finished yet. So the store was looking okay. I was quite impressed with that. Prices didn't look too bad. You start with your basic character, and you can basically go like athletic or heavy, or a sort of slim character that's fast and speedy and nippy and can get around quickly on the map. So there is customizations. Yes, there's a battle pass, so here's your battle pass that I'm showing you. Again, quite a lot on it. Pretty good detail on all the weapons and everything, and all the outfits. I think the artwork is pretty good overall. So let's lead us on to one thing. How does this game play, and what is it coming out on? Well, it's coming out on pretty much everything. Xbox Series, PS5, PC, of course. We don't have a fixed release date yet, but it's definitely this year. It shouldn't be too long in the distant future, because it is actually pretty well polished. I was quite impressed with it. But that's not without saying it has its niggles. It certainly does, and one of them is pretty massive when you think of the scope of the audience the game is going to be aiming for. So what we're going to do now is team up. We've put quick match on. We're going into the Monaco map, and you team up with 2 other players. There's 4 teams, and basically you're competing against them for objectives. Okay, so it's basically like raid an area, get the objective, take it to another place. You've seen it before. It's sort of commonplace in various games. Pretty easy. They're called vaults on this, by the way. The first thing I noticed when I loaded in was that the Y-axis was reversed on the gun, so I had to change that. The graphics look pretty good, pretty sharp, and it moved very, very smoothly, no problem at all. So none of that was a problem. Traversal, again, jumping, climbing over things, no problem whatsoever. Didn't have any crashes with the game, and there's no stutter. The network side of things seems very good. I must admit, the shoot to bullet type ratio was fantastic. You shot somebody, it was quick, but it does lead me up to the big complaint that I've got with it. And the big complaint, sadly, at the moment, is controls. Let me cover that in a bit more detail for you so you know what I'm talking about. I was trying this on a laptop, RTX 2060 i7 9th gen, so 6-core 12 thread, pretty decent spec laptop, 16GB RAM, NVMe, etc, etc. So, it was a pretty good laptop. That wasn't the problem. The problem was I was using a controller. Now, the controller works absolutely fine. Pretty much any controller works on it, to be completely honest with you. But you cannot aim with it for toffee. I mean, there's something massively wrong with controller aim. I know a lot of you diehard PC players are going to say, oh well, it's mouse, keyboard, fast reaction game. Well, there's a lot of people nowadays with Steam Deck, and there's an awful lot of people who use big picture mode or just prefer controller. That was paired with the fact it's coming out on the consoles. This needs looking at in a major way. I could not aim on a single person while on controller. Not at all. So I died every single time. This footage that you're watching is fully controller based. It's actually an Xbox Series controller that I'm using, and I literally could not aim at all. Now, I've played a lot of FPSs over the years, and this really did suck, to be honest with you. Mouse keyboard, which I tried at a later date, not a problem. Yeah, your aiming and everything was absolutely fine. So being this is a pre-release, this feedback has gone back to them, and I'm hoping they take it on board and really do deal with it so that the masses that use controller, can enjoy it, rather than the sort of subset nowadays that use mouse keyboard. I mean, yes, there's a lot of PC players use that. Like I say, Steam Deck is a thing. Big picture is a thing. It needs to work well with controller, and FPSs can work well with controller, and this literally doesn't. Anyway, quickly looking at the stats of how it's running, which I've put up on the left hand side of your screen, you can see it's not too intensive. Everything is set to high. I will show you the settings and options shortly. You'll see every single one of them, sound and audio and accessibility, etc. You can have a peruse at those. The game ran well enough, 45 FPS. If I put it on a mix of medium and high, I could lock it at 60. That wasn't a problem. DLSS is supported, as you'll see later on. It's spread evenly across the CPU cores. using a decent amount of memory, and the GPU wasn't overtaxed. So I didn't really notice any stutters. It ran very, very well. That isn't the issue. Guys, I'm going to wrap this part of the video up now for you, and I'm going to leave the video to play out to show you all the settings and options that the game has. Like I say, you can switch off now if you just wanted to see the game and see what it looked like, or if you want to see what options the game's got, carry on doing. But for me, that's it for now. See you next time.